Hello, I'm Chelsea. Welcome back to my channel where we talk books. So I have a confession. I have a problem, a really big problem with buying books. I went to the bookstore yesterday not intending to buy a book, and I did. I did. Do I need more books? No. No, I do not. Am I going to show you the books that I have recently gotten? And by recently, I mean throughout the summer and the first 2 weeks of September. Yeah, I will, because I feel like there are other people out there who have the same problem, and I want to share my problem of books. Okay, let's just get straight into it. Got quite a few books here. All right, number one is considered like probably the classic of all classics. I have not read it yet, but I feel like it's a good fall autumnal sort of read. And that is George Orwell's 1984. I have heard so many things about this book, and I really do want to read it. This is a nice edition as well. I think it's like I don't know what it is, but it's a nice edition, and I got it for $10 at like Walmart, not Walmart, Marshall's or Winners, something like that. If you didn't know, they have books there. And yeah, that's where I got this. I intend to read it, hopefully this fall. I don't know. What is it about? Okay, a summary of 1984, since I have no idea what it's about. A masterpiece of rebellion and imprisonment, where war is peace, freedom is slavery, and Big Brother is watching through police Big Brother Orwellian. These words have entered our vocabulary because of George Orwell's classic dystopian novel 1984, the story of one man's nightmare odyssey as he pursues a forbidden love affair through a world ruled by warring states and a power structure that controls not only information, but also individual thought and memory. More relevant than ever before, 1984 exposes the worst crimes imaginable, the destruction of freedom, of truth, freedom, and individuality. This beautiful paperback, it's describing the exact paperback that they're trying to sell on Amazon. Yeah, that's 1984. Let's continue with the classics, I guess. Another one I've got here is one that I really haven't really heard of, but it was like $1 at a store, and I read the first page, which maybe I'll read it to you, not the first whole page, but like I was intrigued. I didn't know that this is like a second book of this author's, I don't know. It's like a what do you call it? A sequel to a duology or something. I don't know. I was just intrigued. So let's read the first little bit. Chapter 1, Sisters. Ursula and Gudrun Brangwyn sat one morning in the window bay of their father's house in Beldover, working and talking. Ursula was stitching a piece of brightly colored embroidery, and Gudrun was drawing upon a board which she held with her knee. They were mostly silent, talking as their thoughts strayed through their mind. Strayed through their mind. I thought it sounded beautiful and interesting, and I liked the cover, and I don't think I've said what this one is called yet, which is D.H. Lawrence's Women in Love. I liked the cover. It's about sisters and falling in love. Is my assumption. This one, it called out to me, and it was like $1. And I liked what it said on the back. She thought she loved, she thought she felt it was full of love. Sounds like it's beautifully written. So there's that one. I think it's a classic. It says Penguin Classics, although I've never heard of this one before. But that's that. This one is kind of a very well-known one, perhaps. Again, I don't know anything about it. And that is The Four Arrangements. It's a wisdom book. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of like celebrities who put this on some of their top books of all time, so I'm intrigued. I'm interested to know why. Have you ever seen that Instagram page that's like of celebrities' favorite books? I don't know what it's called. Maybe I'll see if I can put it somewhere. Anyway, this is often on there. A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom. The Four Arrangements. Don McGill Ruiz reveals the source of self-limiting beliefs that rob us of joy and create needless suffering. Based on ancient Toltec wisdom. I don't know what Toltec is. The Four Arrangements offers a powerful code of conduct that can rapidly transform our lives to new experiences of freedom, true happiness, and love. So, oh, it's personal growth and self-help. If you've seen some of my videos before, you know how I feel about self-help, but it's such a short book. It's like under 100 pages. Okay, it's like 120 pages. No, I'm curious to know why that one is such an interesting, why that one is often seen as like a celebrity must read. Next I have a book from an author that I love, and by that I mean I've loved one of her books, and then I read the like sequel of the book and I didn't really like it, and that is Margaret Atwood. I read and love The Handmaid's Tale, and then I read The Testaments and did not really like that one, but I'm hoping for redemption with this one, a book that I've never heard of before, and the cover is interesting. I don't know anything about this book, and now that I'm looking at the cover, I see like an alien thing. Okay, so it's called The Year of the Flood by Margaret Atwood. If you can see, there's like a weird alien figure. I can't tell, you know what, I think I picked this book up because Margaret Atwood. Knowing nothing about it, I did not notice this weird alien figure when I picked it up. I think it's another dystopian. She's known for that. In a world driven by shadowy, corrupt corporations and the uncontrolled development of new gene-spliced life forms. Ah, that's what that weird green thing is on the cover. A man-made pandemic occurs, obliterating human life. Two people find they have unexpectedly survived. Ren, a young dancer locked inside the high-end sex club Scales and Tails, the cleanest dirty girls in town. Oh, I love that. Get it, Margaret. And Toby, solitary and determined, who has barricaded himself inside a luxurious spa, watching and waiting. The women have to decide on their next move. They can't stay hidden forever, but is there anyone out there? Yeah, this one, I don't know. It seems interesting. And I was really interested in the first, again with the first one. Okay, in the early morning, Toby climbs up onto the rooftop to watch the sunrise. She uses a mop handle for balance. The elevator stopped working some time ago, and the back stairs are slick with damp. And if she slips and topples, there wouldn't be anyone to pick her up. So yeah, I was intrigued by the first line there. So that's another one that I have recently picked up. This is my most recent, you know what, no, I'll leave the most recent one that I got literally yesterday because I could not help myself. Next I have Anna by Matthew Blake. I think this is like a sci-fi thriller, maybe even dystopian as well. I literally don't really know anything about this, but when I looked on Goodreads, it was on my TBR list to be read. So when I saw it at like a used bookstore, picked it up. That's why I have a problem when I go into a bookstore and I see something that's on like my to be read, something that I wanted to read. I will pick it up even though I don't need it. But I'm like, oh, it's like $5. This one is about Anna O, who is a budding 25-year-old writer with a bright future. Then one night she stabs 2 people to death in her sleep and never wakes up. Anna, now dubbed Sleeping Beauty by the tabloids, has a rare psychosomatic disorder known as resignation syndrome. I don't know if that's a real thing. Dr. Benedict Prince is a forensic psychologist and an expert in the field of sleep-related homicides. To solve the case, he must wake up Anna so she can stand trial. But he has to be careful. Anna's a high-profile suspect, and he's got career secrets and a complicated personal life of his own. Interesting. Is there such thing as a forensic psychologist who's an expert in sleep-related homicides? Are there really that many of those? I don't know. I think this is, you know, I'm talking as if this is real life. It's clearly fiction, Chelsea. Clearly fiction. Okay, next I have one that's called I Have Some Questions for You by Rebecca Mackay, I think. This is the book. I think it's a another crime thriller type book. And yeah, wow, did I get it for a deal? This is like $40 and I think I got it for $5. So that's the problem. I can't like help when I find books and they're such a good deal and then I have to take them. I guess it's just enjoying a midday bath. This one is about a successful film professor and podcaster is content to forget her past, the family tragedy that marked her adolescence, her 4 largely miserable years at a New Hampshire boarding school, and the murder of her former roommate, Talia Keith, is in the spring of their senior year. Though the circumstances surrounding Talia's death and the conviction of the school's athletic trainer, Omar Evans, are hotly debated online, Bodhi, which is the name of the main protagonist, I guess, Bodhi needs to let sleeping dogs lie. But when Granby School invites her back to teach a course, Bodhi is drawn to the case and its increasingly apparent flaws. In their rush to convict Omar, did the school and the police overlook other suspects? Is the real killer still out there? As she falls down the very rabbit hole she was so determined to avoid, Bodhi begins to wonder if she wasn't as much of an outsider at Granby as she thought. If perhaps back in 1995 she knew something that might have held the key to solving the case. So yeah, it's like a crime book. Author of the Pulitzer Prize finalist, The Great Believers. So her previous book was nominated in the running for a Pulitzer Prize, which means the writing is probably going to be really good. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. 2 more books. This one has also been on my TBR for a while, which is why when I saw it again at a used bookstore, I had to pick it up. And it's called The Leftover Women by Jean Kwok. Yeah, this one sounds super interesting and I like the cover. This is the one from Book of the Month, which I do not subscribe to. Jasmine Yang arrives in New York City from her rural Chinese village without money or family support, fleeing a controlling husband on a desperate search for the daughter who was taken from her at birth, another female casualty of China's controversial one-child policy. But with her husband on trial, the clock is ticking and she's forced to make increasingly risky decisions if she ever hopes to be reunited with her daughter. Meanwhile, publishing executive Rebecca Whitney seems to have it all: a prestigious family name and the wealth that comes with it, a high-power career, a beautiful home, a handsome husband, and an adopted Chinese daughter she adores. She even hired a nanny to help her balance the demands of being a working wife and mother. The perfect world begins to crumble, and her role in her own family is called to question. Okay, interesting. It's like a suspense novel, I guess. Yeah. there's that one. My last book, my most recent book is, this is the only book that I've bought in an actual not used bookstore, because I did really want to read it, and it was on sale. So again, with the, I can't help myself when there's a deal on the books. Yeah, this one is Coco Mellor's Blue Sisters. I have not read Cleopatra and Frankenstein, but I've heard good things and I do really want to read it. This one is about the three blue sisters who are exceptional and exceptionally different. Avery, the oldest and a recovering heroin addict turned straight-laced lawyer, lives with her wife in London. Bonnie, a former boxer, works as a bouncer in Los Angeles following the devastating defeat. And Lucky, the youngest, models in Paris while trying to outrun her hard-partying ways. They also had a fourth sister, Nikki, whose unexpected death left the family reeling. A year later, as they each navigate grief, addiction, and ambition, they find they must return to New York to stop the sale of the apartment they were raised in. But coming home is never as easy as it seems, as the sisters reckon with the disappointments of their childhood and the loss of the only person who held them together. They realize that their greatest secrets they've been keeping might not have been from one another, but from themselves. Yeah, that's the book. It seems like it's gonna be a good one. And this picture right here, there was literally another book at the bookstore, and I swear it was the exact same photo of this one, or like painting of this woman right here. Take these three away. This woman. And I literally took the book and I was like, huh? But yeah, that's just a fun little tidbit for you. Those are the books that I've gotten recently. I think there's two more that I have gotten and already read, which was James, which if you saw my last video, is you got it. It's this book. This book. It's got to be read. So good. And then the other book that I got, oh, this one I got at an actual bookstore as well. Didn't find that one used. And then there's another one, the Ellen Hildebrand book that I also got over the summer and already read. So yeah, these are all the books that I've gotten within the past 2 months, 2.5, 3. Clearly I have a problem. Confessions of a Bookaholic, I guess. That's the video. Hope you enjoyed my book haul. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, maybe consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, bye.